got a question to get us going here. Either throw it in the chat or unmute. What do you think this number represents? 99,000. Anybody have a stab at it? Obviously, it has something to do with marketing, since that's what we're talking about today. Amita said leads. That'd be a hell of a lead flow right there, right? 99,000.
The number I spend on my bullshit cold call leads.
It's funny you bring that up. I've got a fun little something to share on that one. Hamida, it popped away, but I believe you also wrote searches. Is that correct? I don't know if she's able to unmute.
Yes, correct.
Search is done. You are actually correct.
Yay, I got my gold star.
But I'm going to come back to you because you're only correct to one portion. So think about this a little bit deeper. What does this number represent? 4.8 billion. Hamida, say your same answer again.
Searches.
Searches. You're halfway correct as well. So what are these two numbers in relation to searches? 99,000 and 4.8 billion. Well, it's this simple. There's 99,000 Google searches every second, which equates to 4.8 billion searches a day. So this is why I said Hamida was correct. They are searches. 99,000 searches a second. How many seconds have we been on this call? Right, it's what? 10 after. So 10 minutes worth of 60 seconds a minute. Think about how many hundreds of thousands of searches globally have happened just since we kicked off this call, right? So why is this important? Well, and I don't know if you guys tell me, my screen's angled differently. So if some of this gets blurry, let me know and I'll explain what's there. But how many of you guys feel like sometimes marketing results look like this, a irregular heartbeat pattern? Where we do something, it works really well, and then we do some other things and it's just not quite as well, and then we do something else and it works really, and it's like this heartbeat pattern, right? And our results tend to follow suit with that, and we really don't want it. We want our results to look like this. Over time, results gain. Chris, you just kind of mentioned this when we were getting ready to kick off the call. It's cool to start seeing the compound effect, things repeating themselves, that the energy and the effort, right? You've been marinating and doing more stuff over and over and over again for the SEO side, for the search side of things. And as time has been going on, it's starting to produce more. And the longer that we continue to let it, and this is what we all want. We want our marketing to do this for us, but too often we get trapped because it feels like this. Heartbeat, up and down. Sometimes we're dead, sometimes we're really alive. Depends, I won't pick too hard, but if you got the Spanish blood in you, for some reason, I feel like Deanna's heartbeat's like up and then down a lot, and then up and then down a lot because she loves to take her naps and sleep and all that stuff, right? We don't want our business doing all that. And funny side note, Deanna was there on Saturday. I picked on her the entire time and the crowd loved it. It was awesome. So some of you guys that actually know Deanna, you can reach out to her and say, thanks for being a good sport. But throughout this presentation, I want to break down the difference between what we call hamster wheel, or what I like to say is rat race marketing, versus marketing that's more evergreen. And if you don't know what the word evergreen means, or what evergreen marketing really is, at the end of the day, without reading this big old paragraph right here, it's marketing that has zero expiration date. Marketing that has zero expiration date. So what does that mean? If I put a social post up like I did today for this particular training, I put a post out there. I was like, hey, a bunch of people wanted me to do this, promised our clients I would do it. I'm going to open it up to anybody. Here you go. Does that piece of marketing expire at some point?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because it's a specific time that you're hosting this call.
Well, obviously the time of the call plays a factor into it, and that piece of marketing is driving to this. So if they saw that tomorrow, did they miss it? But why is that piece of marketing going to expire at some point? On Facebook, for example, where I put it.
It just falls to the bottom of feeds.
That's it.
It's not that day. It's done.
That's it. At some point, typically within about 24 hours, for the most part, the algorithm buries you down. There's more current things happening. Other things are showing, and it won't ever, unless they physically go to the profile and scroll through the profile, they'll never see it, right? It's never going to just naturally hit them. So that's marketing that has an expiration date to it. So evergreen marketing is things that do not expire. So those of you guys that have been with us for quite some time, heard me preach and everything else, what do you think forms of evergreen marketing are? Good, Marie.
I want to say like YouTube videos.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. What else?
Your website in general.
We'll get specific on the website. What's a form of marketing on our website that is evergreen?
Videos.
Well, the videos, the YouTube side of it. What else?
The about us and the business.
Pages.
Your pages, yeah.
Pages of the website. And that page can be everything from blog to location page to a service page to the about us page to the how it works page to our, our individual city pages, right? Why are these evergreen? They don't expire. It's not like Google says, hey, we only allow you to keep them on our Google platform for 12 days and then we take them down, right? They live there forever. That's what evergreen is. That's what we mean by no expiration date, okay? So when you really sit back and think about it, this style of evergreen marketing to become the best known, to become the go-to, if I really want to start getting consistent inbound motivated leads coming into my business, it's really like I'm stacking bricks or building a brick wall. And I'm going to use this analogy quite a bit as we go through this. But it comes down to understanding this key chart right here. And it really is the leverage that we have with our forms of marketing, how much leverage that gives us in comparison to conversion, right? So we have things like low leverage, low conversion, high leverage, low conversion, low leverage, high conversion, and so on and so forth, right? High leverage, high conversion. So what are some examples of these? Well, high leverage, meaning I can leverage my time quite a bit. I don't have to do a ton for this, but it gets me low conversions or low results in the grand scheme of the leverage is stuff like email, radio, TV, social posts. Why is that high leverage? Because I can get to the masses really quick, right? I can run a radio ad or a TV commercial or put up social media stuff, and I can hit masses quite frequently. I can have a huge email list and throw a bunch of emails out like I did before this call. But why is that low conversion? Who wants to take a stab at that one? Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, well, because you have to hit them up so many times, and a lot of people are like playing with their hair while they're watching a commercial, and then that commercial just went by, so they're not even thinking about it.
Exactly. Basically, right? High leverage means I can hit the masses, but the problem is I'm hitting the masses, and I don't know if they're the right person. I don't know if it's the right timing. I don't know if they even saw it, right? I sent out a couple hundred emails prior to this to a couple select sections of our database that I figured would get value out of this, but I can't guarantee that they're actually going to open that email before this happens, right? Which is why it's a low leverage, even though I got a mass amount out there. Did you say something, or Bob, was that you? That's why you're in your car.
Yeah, that's me. I was driving. I didn't get a chance to see the email, but I'm dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're one of our clients. You've been here forever. You know this call naturally happens, but perfect case. There's an email from me in your inbox about this training right now. Now, imagine if Bob wasn't tuned in. Bob would miss this. Now, if I consistently did that and would I eventually maybe get Bob? Yes, but that's why you can see high leverage, low results, right? Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, high result, but it's super low leverage of time, is stuff like one-on-one stuff. door knocking, one-on-one coaching or one-on-one consulting or one-on-one teaching, open houses. Open houses are phenomenal when we're selling a property, but it's super low leverage of time. Why are these low leverage time pieces? This actually, me doing this right now, even though it's one to many, it's still a low leverage of my time. Anybody have an idea why?
They're part of the 1 to 3%. They're ready to go.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but no, that's not the answer that I'm looking for here. Why is this low leverage of time? Why is open houses low leverage of time or door knocking, even though it's good
not-
conversion?
It's not targeted to the specific avatar audience.
Think of what I'm asking. Why is it low leverage of time?
Low
Because we're coming to
leverage.
you.
Oh.
Say that again, Phil.
We're coming to you.
No, low leverage of time. Why is this low leverage use of my time right now? Don't take that a bad way, but why is it low leverage use of my time?
When you say low leverage, you mean it's not the best use of your time? Is that what you
Meaning
mean?
I'm not leveraging my time very well.
Oh, gotcha.
If I'm out
Exactly,
door
yeah.
knocking or sitting at an open house, why is that low leverage use of time?
Because
You're
you're
not
reaching only
guaranteed to
one
speak to
person.
anyone.
One of you at a time. Go ahead, Segal, and then I'll come back to Lorraine.
Because you're reaching only one person, or not, you're not leveraging too many people, only one person, one-on-one.
Yeah, and even if it's one to many like this, that's a good portion of it. Lorraine, what were you going to say?
Similar to what Segal said, like you can't determine if someone's gonna show up to the open house or if anyone's gonna call based on your door knocker.
Now, it's great results because those that do show, to Bob's point, I'm getting to the right person, right? That 1 to 3%. However, who's the common denominator in all of this in this box right now?
You.
Me. And I made this joke on Saturday. If somebody can develop a hologram maker and turn me into a hologram and let me go do other things while the hologram teaches this, did I just leverage my time a little bit better?
Yes.
Absolutely. So these are really good type of, and these are just, quick examples, one-on-one, door knocking, open houses, that kind of stuff, right? Presentations, speaking at meetings, events, brokerages, this type of stuff, right? They're great because they get you good results. They just suck your time down because you have to go and do it. But on Saturday, I use this as the example, even though I was there at that event all day long on a Saturday, how was I making it a better use of my time being there, being able to leverage my time? I had a videographer following me around all day.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you're recording this session right now.
And right now I'm recording it because why? I want to try to get as much leverage, even though it's still low. I'm trying to get as much leverage out of this. I can record this, and now I can go back to over here, high leverage. Can I take this recording and turn around and shoot it out in emails? Hey, I know you missed it. I know you weren't able to jump on live, but here you go. Go watch the replay. And now I'm starting to bring these two a little bit closer to the center where we're leveraging the time. I still had to give up some time to do it once, but am I turning this one thing that has an expiration today? As soon as we're done, this is over. Am I turning it into something that has no expiration by recording it? Absolutely, right? So what's an example of low leverage, low result marketing? Cold calling, cold texting, bandit signs, direct mail, these type of things. Low leverage of time. Why? It sucks me dry, or it sucks a team dry. Because either I got to do all the calling and texting, or I got to have a team do all the calling and texting. They can't stop and it still work, right? They always have to be, or we always have to be doing this to get it. And it's always low results in the grand scheme or in the comparison to other forms of marketing. The only thing that truly has high leverage of time and high results is evergreen style marketing. It takes time to build out to the high results, but we can leverage our time like crazy with it, and we can gain a lot of results by me recording this, putting this to YouTube, sending it out in emails, and just having it optimized the right way out there. more people over time will continually find this, right? Therefore, generating result after result after result. It's the one piece of marketing that gives me multiple opportunities or multiple leads. Does this make sense? Quick thumbs up from everybody. So here's the thing. You probably can't see this, the green box that went around it on the screen. COVID enhanced this. COVID enhanced how powerful evergreen marketing really is for, and this isn't just real estate businesses, really any service-based business. If you provide a service, not a physical product, and even on the physical product side, it is impacting it, but real so on the service side of things, COVID enhanced how powerful evergreen style marketing can be when you do it on a consistent basis. Now, I had some screenshots in here. I decided to leave them, but obviously this was a sales call or a sales presentation that I was doing on Saturday, educating and selling simultaneously. And Chris, Sal, you guys happen to make my slide deck. A few guys on the call actually made the slide deck. But I showed this snapshot of Google Analytics. It was a 180-day window for Ohana Legacy. And in that time frame, you guys had a just shy of about 2.4 thousand people on your website, which was a massive increase, 533% compared to the 180 days prior. And this was over the last 180 days. So we're looking back 180 days, comparing it to the 180 days prior to that. It was a huge piece, right? And I want to bring this back to that whole, why is that 99,000, that 5.8 billion at the beginning so important? Take a look at this pie chart breakdown of where that traffic was coming from. 47% was organic search, 28% was direct. That's over 75% of the traffic on Ohana Legacy Properties website is coming from that 99,000 and 4.8 billion. That means only 25% of the other traffic coming to it was from other forms of marketing. High leverage, high result. Evergreen, right? Because the website's constantly working and all of this data was coming through. Now, this was another one of our clients. They've been with us a little bit longer than Chris and Sal. Same thing, past 180 days, 3.9 thousand views on their website. That was a 449% increase over the previous 180 days. Why? The longer it's out there, the more likely it's going to rank. All these kind of components come into it. But more staggering, take a look at this. 81% was organic search and 17% was direct. That's 99% of their traffic on their website is coming from organic and direct to the website. There's this tiny little orange sliver. I don't even know if you guys can see it too well on here. That's social media. 100% of their website traffic is coming from organic, direct, and social. That's it. No referrals, no other stuff. 81% of it is organic search. 81% is that 99,000 a second, 4.8 billion a day. Is this making sense so far? Yes? Shake your hands, thumbs up. And here's the problem. We've been lied to. Really, we've been lied to in the real estate world. Because there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of brokerages, there's a lot of people that think that they know what they're talking about, and this is what they teach you guys to do. Post 3 times a day on social media, make 100 cold calls a day, farm your network, friends, family, send 1,000 mailers a month, drive for dollars, and you too will make 6 figures a year. And we end up feeling like this lady right here, who said the real estate profession's stressful. I'm 48 and I feel great. If you want to be like that at the age of 48, then feel free to run this method. But this is why it's called hamster wheel marketing or rat race marketing, because we constantly have to grind. Does anybody enjoy the grind? Like truly enjoy. I met one person on Saturday that said, I'll probably never stop cold calling because I'm a savage and I just love doing it. I just don't want to have to do as many. And on that note, I wish I could share it, but it's on my phone, and I pulled this up and had somebody in the audience read this, going back to the cold calling being low leverage, low results. See if I can put it up to the camera and you guys see it. I took a screenshot of somebody on Facebook who posted, they're in the real estate space, they're a real estate investor. And well, I knew I had it somewhere. The numbers were staggering. Their KPIs for 2021. Here it is. It's not going to focus. So anyway, this person, I'll read it to you guys. They posted this last week. They said, we frequently get asked how we buy property at such good numbers. These are the numbers of cold calls we made in 2021. It's work is the answer. And here's the screenshot of their KPI tracker. Number of dials in 2021, 26,750,598 numbers dialed. Number of connects, 681,742. Marie, I see you shaking your head.
That's crazy.
Let that sink in.
I actually had that on a different call with a different group of people last week, and we went over the same exact thing. It was freaking hilarious.
26,700,000+ dials, 681,000+ connects. The numbers are staggering, right? But what was more staggering for me is when I clicked on it and I went into the comments. And I started reading comments like, this is so inspiring. How did you build a team to do this? Show me your process. I need to know the system that you use to do this. That blew me away, that people actually thought that this really was the way to get leads and do deals for their business. And then I started digging deeper into the comments, and person after person after person kept asking, how many deals did you do from this? How many deals were you able to make happen? And guess what comment they never would answer? How many
Conversion
deals?
rate came out to like 2.3%.
Yeah. Now, I sat back for a second and I wasn't going to get baited in. And then I decided, no, I am. And I threw a really fun little comment back into their post. And it started something like this. Why in the F would you want to do that many phone calls and talk to that many people when you can very easily, like so many of our clients, build marketing that works on a consistent basis so you don't have to make that many phone calls? The next day, I had 5 people on my calendar, one of which was the person that made the post, wanting to find out what the heck this means. And I only say that because they simply knew nothing different. They'd been brought up, taught by guru after guru after guru, that you just have to work. You just have to grind. You just have to smile and dial. You just have to send a bitch load of text messages to get results. And I know we've all tried it, and I'm not here to say that those methods don't work at all and stop doing them. But why should we rely solely on this low leverage, low result when we can mix and blend and find ways to have multiple different leverage points and multiple different results points overall bringing this in? Does that make sense? So I want to hit a couple stats, and then I'm going to dive into a couple secrets that I taught throughout the day on Saturday. 53%. This is just reality for real estate professions, whether it's agent, investor, it really doesn't matter. I think it's more on the agent side, but I do know a lot of investors that are just as hard-headed. 53% work the same amount of hours today as they did the day that they got started. How many of you guys got into business because you wanted to get away from being sucked down and time controlled? Yet over half of the real estate professionals that were surveyed still put in just as many hours, if not more, as when they got started. It goes back to not doing enough to leverage the time. And here's a stat for it. 62% spend about 3 to 5 hours a day promoting themselves, trying to find an opportunity. 3 to 5 hours a day. That's a part-time job, just doing lead generation. To what? To still work just as many hours or more? Something tells me that there's something broken there, right? 31% of real estate companies, this one is a positive, but it blows my mind. 31% of real estate companies spend more than $1,000 on marketing a year. Just shy of a third of companies in the real estate profession actually spend more than $1,000 a year on marketing. Now, why is that a positive for you guys on this call right now? I see you saying something, Lorraine, but I can't hear you. Yes.
You said one third of real estate or 31%?
Less than a third. Less than a third. 31%. So less than a third of real estate companies actually spend more than $1,000 on marketing. Why is that good for you guys?
Because we're spending more than that. That's what I said.
I thought Mickey,
That's
Marie,
competition.
Hamida, I thought didn't she like go to this Mind Jedi, program with you guys? Why is she still coming back talking negatives?
No, it's not negative. It's just a reality. That's what I thought you were pointing out. Like we're investing more in our businesses.
Why is this stat positive? This is a bad stat. This is terrible. This should be like 90% of companies spend more than $20,000 a year.
It's an untapped market. So now there's so much
There we go.
grab. You can go in and grab because now these idiots didn't do it.
100%, Brandon. This is when I saw this stat, I was shocked. I was like, are you kidding me? But then I sat back and I went, well, hold on. That's a positive. Because there's hardly any competition. There's hardly any competition because nobody's doing it well. And nobody's really spending any money, meaning they're trying to do it themselves or they're just giving up on it, right? And that's where I started to get into understanding why. Why are these the actual reality? It has nothing to do with availability. It has everything to do with knowledge, understanding, and a plan more than anything, right? Because none of this is new stuff. Some of you guys have been around us for years. Some of you guys on this call have known me for quite a few years. It's not like this is new stuff. We just haven't had a true plan behind it. And we end up still needing to answer this question every time we meet somebody. And that is so who are you anyway? Because we're not doing anything. They're left clueless for us. So my goal with this presentation is to do two simple things. One, if you're brand new or new to this, just kind of getting your business up off the ground and going, it was to get you to stand out. If you're seasoned, you've been around this game for a little while, I just want to show you how we do it. And I'm speaking to the choir here for most of the people on this call, but there are a few of you guys that aren't working with us. I want to show you how to do it in less time and get better results. That's simple. How to get the time back, because I don't think any of us got into business to work more. We know we have to put the time in, but we got into business because we want the freedom. We got into business because we want the flexibility, right? So I want to show you how to get the better results with less time, and it means getting away from low results. Now, I took out all the slides about me because most of you guys know me on this call, so I wasn't going to bore you with that, but I did leave these because I want to drive something home here. Some of you guys know me really well, going all the way back to our early days when I got started in real estate, just like many of you guys on this call. But some of you don't really know the true story or what it really looked like back at the beginning. This picture right here was the day that we opened up our very first office. This was probably about a month into my real estate journey. We'd gotten an office. We rented from a small little office place above a motorcycle shop. I called it the Closet. And we decided we were going to run a cornhole tournament out in the parking lot to try to promote house to home properties, to let everybody know the house to home properties is in business here in the area. So I made my brother's friends stand there and hold this cornhole tournament board, trying to get people to stop and join the tournament. And we had a bunch of cornhole boards out there, and we had all of our friends and family, right? Tap your friends and family, had them all out there to make it look like there was a lot of people hanging out. But I knew that just Corey standing there with this board was not going to be enough, that we needed to do something else to get attention. So I went and rented this, what I think is like a cat costume or monkey costume or something. And who's inside that costume?
You.
Me, because that's how I thought you market at that time. Gain attention, right? I tell you guys this all the time. Marketing is all about getting a conversation going. It's about getting attention. Well, I figured that's a great way to get attention is put this stupid suit on and just dance all over the place on the side of the street while Corey stands there and holds this sign, and then, you know, everybody else is in the parking lot. I've done the trade shows where we've set up booths and tried to pitch one-on-one and talk one-on-one and hang out at these booths, and they work, right? The cornhole tournament, it worked. It got people in. Low leverage of time, lower results. I've done the other type where you're just kind of more formal sitting there. I've done the bandit sign game. Heck, I tried to outsource it. My daughter couldn't figure out how to put them up the right way. She always wanted to put them up upside down. I've done the presentations about our flips. This was actually at a business networking meeting. This was the picture on the screen right there, 1251 Shields Road. That was our first ever flip that we did in the Youngstown area. I've done these things, and again, they work. Construction company, I took our trailer and blasted it all over with, you know, We Buy Houses stuff on it. And I mention this and I bring this up because one thing through all of this kind of hit me, and that was something had to change. When I look back at our growth and our scale, like from all of that crap to what we eventually started to create and do, I started to realize we changed. We changed the way that we did marketing, and it really was this analogy of building a brick wall. And it starts with the first brick and builds. The problem is we get too bogged down and we start wishing that we had this result over here the second we put one brick in place. We want to put one brick down and have all of these just fall into place. And does that work? Is that even close to reality? Not at all. Just like I can't build a brick building in a day. It takes time to build layer after layer after layer around it. And our marketing is nothing more than building a brick wall. It's stacks, it's layers upon layers upon layers behind it. And I won't go too deep into the backstory, but this is how REI Toolbox came about. More and more and more as time went on, and I was working with more real estate companies, and I was coaching and I was consulting and I was speaking all over the place. I kept finding one common issue. Some of you guys know me from a real estate company's rehab boot camp. I'd be at a rehab boot camp teaching rehab systems and still getting asked questions around marketing. I'd be at other events and get asked questions around marketing. It's always come back to marketing. And when I've looked at it, that's what's helped us. That's what's built my success over the years. And I've had a pleasure of doing this like crazy for a number of others, but I also know that change can be scary. And I can't play this video for you guys to hear it, but if you, maybe I'll post it in the Facebook group. It's a pretty funny video. The guy's tied into a bungee cord. He's on these little walkie things, you know, this free hanging thing. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to die. He'll just fall off and bounce on the bungee cord, and he's in panic mode. And another guy just walks out naturally and grabs his hand and pulls him back. Change can be scary. I get it, but it doesn't have to be that scary. Where we freeze in business, we freeze in execution. But the reality is, we do it because we're trying to worry about having all of this out of the gate and ignoring the fact that we just got to get the first brick down. We got to get the first one going. That make sense? Yes? Those of you that still have cameras on. So the 4 secrets that I went through on Saturday with everybody. The 2-6-12 system, why a website's not enough and you need a true authority hub, why you need to date your prospects, like your sellers and your buyers, and then how to actually grow to multiple leads a day. So I'm going to jam through this really quick here. But secret number 1, the 2-6-12 system is nothing more than it takes time for that momentum to go. And the 2 stands for the first 2 months. The first 2 months that you make a shift and go really hard on Evergreen, you're still going to need to go pretty decently hard on the quick hit marketing. The stuff like PPC or enhancing your offline stuff or texting or calling, right? We're going to have to go hard on some of these things because the organic side, that natural Evergreen needs to build some momentum. But the 6 stands for the pivotal point. The 6 stands for where everybody gets nervous. Because who's ever seen that drawing where the guy's chiseling like a tunnel? And if he would just take 1 or 2 more chisels, there's this big pot of money right there, right? But he's turned his back and he's carrying the chisel out. That's the 6-month mark in evergreen marketing. We're almost there. We're almost there where it's going to start to get this momentum going. Things are going to start to click. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be exactly what we want? No, but we're finally at that point. But we panic, right? And when I overlay time next to that, the amount of work going in about that 6, 7, 8 month mark, that's when the work starts to die down, but results are starting to gain. That's exactly what we all want. More time, better results, right? And it's at that 6-month point, and by month 12, that's when we start to see this thing starting to flow, right? The wheels moving, that flywheel, it's starting to go. I don't need to push as hard on some of the other marketing components, right? Because some of this evergreen's really starting to take shape. I'm going to put Chris on the spot here for a second. I don't even know what the answer is going to be. I'm going to be curious myself, but you guys are almost at this 12-month point that we've been going really hard, moving this needle, getting a lot of evergreen stuff going on. How much non-digital, non our team doing the marketing, how much of that other marketing are you guys actually doing that's low leverage, low results? The texting, the calling, the blasting of direct mail all over the place.
Very little in comparison. Very little.
In comparison to what?
The comparison to what you guys are doing on your team. I mean, we do small amounts of outbound. That's what we call it.
And compare that to last year.
No, it's like probably 1/4 of what it was.
Because the evergreen side is starting to take shape, right? You're still doing a lot of other types of marketing. You guys do a phenomenal job building relationships, but that's high leverage, high result relationships that you're building because it's evergreen relationships. You're not meeting somebody one time that's going to give you one opportunity and calling it a day. This person can keep on giving and giving and giving, correct?
100%.
Which means time starts to drop, which means we're getting closer to freedom. Don't take freedom as I'm done. I don't have to do anything. Freedom just means I don't need to worry so much, or I don't need to try so much. Chris, you were talking about this at the very start of it. You just randomly get leads. Jordan, you and I were talking not too long ago. Unmute and tell everybody kind of what you told us. It's like almost every day.
Yeah, sorry, my internet's going shitty right now, but yeah, every day they ring through to Jacob's phone, so I kind of stay out of his lane. But every day he's getting calls, or they come through Lead Vault, they come through the website, forms through the website, or the widget on the website. It's constant, and it
wasn't like that at the beginning.
No, definitely not. You got to keep working at it, but
as time,
our success point has been adding videos, and just we've done so many rentals over the last year that we keep adding more and more just pages essentially to our rentals page and houses that people can see. And then you start getting video content on there with YouTube, keeping people on your site. Of course, we're in Charleston, West Virginia. It's not as competitive as some of the other people's markets, so we don't have to do as much. But I even remember when you guys started doing the geotagging thing with just the main image of the house, geotagging it. And that started a little rocket ship for us. So every little thing that you continuously add just keeps building you up.
100%. Which leads into this secret number 2, why a website is not enough. What Jordan was just saying, constantly adding pages, what Chris is talking about with us constantly adding stuff. Page equals brick. In this analogy, every page is a brick. I want to build a bigger brick wall. I just need to add more pages, which means I just need to have more valuable stuff out there. For every property, pages. For everything, pages. For pieces of content, pages, right? Blogs, page. Service location, page. So on and so forth. So why is a website not enough, and why do you need a true, and more importantly, like, what is a authority hub? What is it? What makes up a authority hub? And here's the problem: too many go way too fancy, or they go overboard. You take what I just said, you just need more pages, and they go way too overboard, or they get too fancy and flashy with it. Roger and I were on a call earlier today, and somebody was like, I really want something a little bit better from a look and a feel standpoint. And we spent about 20 minutes trying to break down why that's not the best for this. It's not about being fancy, flashy, right? Or we see this, everybody tries to go low cost, go to these free builders, and you end up in problems. It's kind of like trying to get the budget contractor to build your $5 million mansion. What's that fun saying? You can have 2 of 3, cheap, fast, or good. Can't have all 3. Cheap is great, but cheap and good doesn't necessarily mean fast. Doesn't mean it's going to get you any results, right? Or we see this, they just build the website for credibility. And I made this joke on Saturday. Is it Mara Santos? Mara? Imagine if you just met me and you're like, hey, Shawn, this sounds great, and I want to know a little bit more about you guys. And I said, great, Mara, here's what you have to do. You have to go outside at 6 p.m. and you have to face to the west. And you have to open up this website browser, and you have to type it in exactly like this. And if you don't do all of these, then you probably won't find the website, so you have to wait till the next day. Now, that's pretty crazy, right? Obviously, that would never happen like that. But that's what it sounds like when we have just this online brochure that we have to be like, well, I'll email you the link, and you have to click this link, because if you try to just Google me, you're going to not find me, or you're going to find things that I really don't want you to find. So I will just send you the link, so that that's what it sounds like to the prospect, that you're giving them some weird story because you probably aren't very legit, right? So what is a hub, and how does this hub help us? Well, it starts with the core site. And for those of you that are already working with us, we've got that in place for you. The core website's your core components: homepage, about us page, contact page, how it works page, services, right? The basics of everything. These are the types of pages that gain traffic, but they're not the primary source of traffic, meaning somebody eventually goes there deeper in the buyer journey. And I'm going to talk briefly about that buyer journey here in a minute. The second portion of this hub is what I call the money pages. And that's your location pages. These are the ones that truly rank. Chris, you were talking before the call, you're starting to like get all kind of stuff from Katie. Why? Because your Katie, there's a screenshot coming up. Your Katie service page, location-based page, dominating probate-related searches in the Katy, Texas area. That's why I call them the money pages, because that's where the money's made. That's where they get to. Then they make their confirmation that they're going to give you your money once they get over to these other pages. And the Trojans, or the workhorses of our hub, the ones that work for me so that I don't have to do the work and I gain time back, that's where we get into what we call the authority content, or the blogs. The blog content is the key. How many of you guys watched the episode, the WebBuzz episode that Roger and I did about the latest Google update? Whether you watched it live, listened to it, watched it over on YouTube, some of you guys are shaking your head no. I highly encourage you, even if you're working with us, you probably should go listen to it, just so that you can put this information in the back of your head. But Google just did a massive update a couple months back. They called it the helpful content update, where they're basically scrubbing the internet and getting rid of content that is not helpful, content that is not viable, content that is just keyword stuff to be there, content that people bounce off of like crazy. Well, why is Google doing this massive scrub? They want good information on there because, hint, hint, wink, wink, there is a platform that is threatening them from a traffic standpoint. So they want to make sure that they hold this share. So therefore, they want to make sure they've got good, viable content. Well, that's why it's the workhorse for us. If you're not putting anything out, you're not getting noticed. And I don't mean by your prospects, I mean by Google, by the search engines, by the people that are actually searching for this stuff. And I go back to, there's 99,000 a minute or a second, 4.8 billion a day. This is where your traffic goes, the workhorses and your money pages. And when you mix all of this together, that's when we actually have a true hub. That's when we start to actually put enough bricks together to start to have a strong wall. And when you do the content parts of it, this is what we call the Zillow effect. How many of you have ever searched something in the real estate space and landed on something of Zillow? They're everywhere, right? You're not landing on Zillow's homepage. You're landing on one of many bricks that Zillow has built to own those searches. You guys have heard me say this in the past. This is marketing 101. If I can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, I can sell Joe Jones what he buys, right? This is the point of our authority content, our workhorse content. We're trying to, and we're speaking to Joe Jones in that moment about that particular piece. And every thought, question, concern, fear, worry that Joe Jones is a fictitious avatar, right? Replace Joe Jones for your avatar. Any of those things that they got going on in their mind, you should be putting content out, answering it. Good with that? If you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes, you can sell Joe Jones what Joe Jones buys. Marketing 101. So when Joe Jones has a question or a problem, where does he go? Does he go to Facebook? I don't know if you guys can tell. I use the crushed image of Facebook. No, he ain't going to Facebook. Is he going to Instagram? Maybe. He's going to TikTok. Data showing they're going there a little bit more frequent. That's the platform, hint, hint, that's starting to threaten Google from a traffic standpoint. Watch some big shifts come in the next year on TikTok. Does he go to his mailbox? No. Joe Jones goes to Google. Plain and simple. There's platforms threatening it, but guess what? Still at the end of the day, Google's the beast. They go to Google. Hence the data that I shared at the beginning on this. So what are the types of stuff that they're searching? Sell my house in city name. Get cash for my house in city name. How to sell my probate house in city name. Stop foreclosure, city name. We buy houses in city name. Company name reviews. These are the types of stuff that they're searching for, right? In 2021, HomeSnap, how many of you guys know who HomeSnap is? It's a real estate platform. HomeSnap's it's a real estate platform. I think that's the one that you can actually like take a picture of a house, upload it, and it'll pull in some different information. They did a study back in looking at the year of 2021. There was 13 trillion real estate related search queries. So of that 4.8 billion a day, what that equated to for real estate, 13 trillion in the year of 2021. You think there's some traffic? You think there's some opportunities? Yeah, every single one of you have somebody that comprises of that 13 trillion. You don't need all 13 trillion for you specifically. There's plenty of opportunity mixed inside that for you to gain the market share that you need to build the company, build the business that you actually want. And here, Chris, this is actually your stream, you, Chris and Sal, this is actually your guys' screenshot. I pulled this up and I showed everybody, sell my probate house fast, Katy, Texas. The two green boxes is Ohana Legacy Properties. Ohana Legacy Properties in the map pack, number 3, and number 1 in organic. And this map pack obviously fluctuates based on proximity and it changes all the time. As long as you're staying in the top 3, you're golden, right? And you own the top spot in the organics for sell my probate house, Katy, Texas. That's your ideal audience? Yeah, guess where they land when they go onto that screenshot's coming up. This is another one of our clients up in Colorado. Sell my house, Aurora, Colorado. Aurora is a suburb outside of Denver. Where are they at? Number 3 in the map pack, number 3 in the organic. Slowly working their way up in the organic side, right? Strong keyword, sell my house, Aurora, Colorado. They get a ton of traffic off of that. Now, the key is part of this hub, right? Bringing this hub concept all together. When they search and land or search and find that result, we need them to land here. And I loved using Chris and Sal, you guys' example here, and Marie and Jake, you guys were another ones. And I'll give Rihanna some credit since she's repping the brand in her backdrop. But I used you guys as the example because what do you notice when you land on Chris and Sal's location page? What do you notice isn't there and isn't super like in your face?
Submit your information.
There we go. There's nothing that's like, hey, give me your information and I'll give you an offer. Remember, I'm trying to see Joe Jones through Joe Jones' eyes so that I can talk to Joe Jones about the stuff that I know Joe Jones wants to buy. They're looking for probate information. If they search sell my probate house or probate process in, and they land there, and Chris and Sal, they did a really good job when they were out here in May building this probate process timeline, and that's the lead source that they start with. Now, through that, we'll get information from them. But I'm speaking to Joe Jones, meeting him at the point and place that he's at, slowly bringing him in. Does that make sense? It's also establishing a lot of credibility. I go back to it's the authority hub, not just a site. So why do you need to date your prospects? I've drawn this for you guys a number of times, not ready to ready, right? They're on a journey. This is why we need to date them. I can't ask them to marry me on day one at not ready. I have to ask them to marry me when they're up here and they're ready for that. If I try to ask them to marry me too soon, they're going to tell me no, right? So we need to date the prospect. And more importantly, we got to date them through information. Again, 1 to 3% are what's ready. And that's how we date in the digital world. We date through giving value. Probate process timeline. We date through, you guys heard Jordan not too long ago say the chatbot on the website. We date through that. It's safe, it's easy, it's comfortable to send a chat message. It's safe and easy and comfortable to download some information to see if I'm ready to move forward or not, right? It's not safe, comfortable, and easy to say, give me all kind of personal data and I'll give you a cash offer on your house. It's not safe and comfortable and easy to hit them with just call me. That's like saying, let's get married. Lorraine, let's go away for the weekend. I just met you, right? Miss Shawn's probably going to kill me. That's what's going in their mind. Another way that we date, Alora Holmes does a phenomenal job of this. How else do we date? Videos on the website. That's another way that we date. Why? This video on your military housing and relocation page, which is your ideal avatar, that video, not only is it informative, establishing authority from a credibility standpoint and knowledgeable, but it's fun. It brings personality into it. Jake did a great job of, the only person that's going to understand anything that Jake said in that video is the military individual looking to move and in the process of moving. Why? Because he used all kind of military slang and acronyms and a kind of a funny little story that unless you've ever served in the Army or served in the military of some sort, it'll go right over your head and you'll be like, I have no idea what he said.
That's what I said. He wrote that script. I was like, what the fuck are you saying right now?
But you know what? The avatar knows. And that's the fun dates, right? Those are the fun little moments where I'm actually dating my prospect and moving them a little bit deeper. Same thing, you guys do a great job of having this military relocation checklist. You put that together when you were out here in May as well on there. And all this is just because they're going through this journey. It is a true journey when somebody works with you. Lorraine, you just got a new client. I saw that post. Was that the very first time you've ever even spoken to this person? Or was there and maybe not just you physically talking, but was that the first time they'd ever even heard of Mellon Homes and Lorraine? Probably not. There'd been numbers of things prior to. It could have been conversations with you, dating, could have been videos that they watched, webinars that they were part of, webinar replays that they got on, emails that they had coming out to them that dated them, and eventually you guys decided to start going steady. Because now they said, hey, Lorraine, I'm ready to actually exchange money for result. Does it make sense? Because I have trust in you, I like you, I'm confident in you, and it was your hub that did that, not rat race marketing. So when we look at this across this big board, our attract phase, right, that awareness phase, that's all this other stuff that we're doing. But to get them engaged and to get them to actually start warming up, we've got to get them onto our hub. So if you guys take nothing else from this presentation other than this right now, and this is what I told everybody on Saturday, stop doing marketing to phone call. Stop doing any type of marketing that simply says, call me. And start driving them to the hub so that it can build the credibility, help you convert, start to pre-position the sale, pre-position working with you. And I promise you, you will have more opportunities of follow-up. You'll have warmer leads, which is where the money's really made. And the website doesn't create the deal. The website doesn't create the close. The front-end marketing doesn't create the close, right? You have to understand what has its role at what points. This marketing has nothing to do with anything other than attract, get attention. That social post that I put out about this training, it had nothing to do but to just get people to pay attention and jump on this call. Does that make sense? Getting them here, in this case, getting here today, builds the credibility, builds the trust, builds the dating repetition, right? Builds that confidence. And it's the follow-up behind that that rounds out the actual hub. So how do we grow to multiple leads? And I'm going to blaze up through this really quick to get you the actual process. Here we go. The normal process of doing this is this simple. Build your core hub. 10 hours or so a month, 150, 200 bucks or so a month to pay somebody to have that, manage it, that kind of stuff. Most of you guys on this call are working with us. That has nothing to do with you guys because we already take care of that for you. Keyword research on Google, YouTube, Answer the Public, Facebook groups, this type of stuff. I just put out a YouTube video where I broke down a very simple keyword research process. For those of you guys that are doing your own blogs and trying to get your own content out there yourself, you're probably going to be at about 1 to 3 hours a month to do this at a decent enough pace. I'll link that. Actually, I think I already did put it up in the Facebook group. That video, if I haven't, just go to the REI Toolbox YouTube channel. It's on there. I broke down a quick, easy process on how to do the keyword research. If you followed that for about 1 to 3 hours a month, you're going to have a plethora of content to write about. Take those topics and then write 800 to 1,000 word blogs for each of those keywords, each of those search results. You're looking at about 1 or so a week is ideal, but you're looking at about 1 to 3 hours, depending on how well of a writer you are. If you're like me, it'll probably take you 3 weeks to write a letter. If you're like Chris, you're probably still trying to figure out caveman calligraphy. If you're Lorraine, you're probably still looking at the piece of paper, but the goal is 1 per week. You should be able to knock these out in like 1 to 3 hours a week, right? Per article. If you were to hire that out, you're looking at probably 50, 60, 70 bucks for a professional writer to actually write those for you. And then you want to rinse and repeat. And that really is the process of building those bricks. Remember, every one of these is a brick. It's a brick. It's a brick. It's a brick. The more bricks I start to build, the more I start to have a bigger wall out there. I go back to there's hardly anybody doing it, which means the more bricks I build, the quicker I get them out there, the bigger my wall comes, because hardly anybody's got a big wall. I can have the biggest wall pretty quickly, right? Total, you're probably looking at about 22 to 25 hours a month doing this at the onset. But remember the diagram before. As time goes on, we don't have to do as many now. We can start to pull that back a little bit. We can start to shift some of the focus. Why? Because we're starting to see the compound effect behind it. Now, this was all part of, you guys good to hang on a few more minutes? Does anyone want to see? So I'll give you guys the full disclosure here. Obviously, presenting at an event, there was one focus of that presentation. And what was that? outside of educating. It was to what? Thank you, Chris. Wheel them in, right? Get them to the booth, come talk to us. So some of you guys that also are trying to sell services, Lorraine, Hamida, Marie, Mickey, right? You got to shift into more of the sales side of things. Here's how I shifted this presentation. I asked this question right here. And you guys play along and go through it. What is one deal worth to you over the next 12 months? What is your average deal? What's that value? Think about it. Hold it in your head. If you're wholesaling, it's probably 5, 10, 15,000, right? If you're flipping, it's probably 20, 50, 60,000, somewhere in that range. Right? Coaching clients, Hamida, Lorraine, Mickey, maybe it's, a couple thousand a month. Right? Let's say it's 1,000 a month, that's 12,000 for the year. That one person, right? That's what that would be worth to you. Now answer this question. How many deals are you okay losing over the next 12 months due to underperformance? Are you willing to lose? Some of you might say, I'm willing to lose 2 or 3. Some of you are saying, no, I don't want to lose anything, right? So start to rate yourself. How well are you doing this? Because unless you're up here at this 9 and 10, where you're nailing it, you've got the elements in place and everything's rocking and rolling, you're losing opportunities. And very few of us, me included, are even up here to this 9 and 10. Most of us float in this 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, right? We've got a decent funnel, or we're okay, but it's not complete. We're still missing some key stuff. I still don't feel like we have enough out there, that we can always be getting more out there, that things are going to change, and that we constantly need to be pushing on this. So if you're sitting down here saying, hey, I just got the, free, not necessarily free, but I just got the website and I haven't put anything else out there yet, I promise you're losing opportunities. And for those of you that answered a single opportunity is worth $50,000, I can promise you you're missing more than one opportunity. So how many hundreds of thousands of dollars are you potentially missing due to underperformance? So I want to ask you guys this question. What's been the most valuable so far?
The concept of building the wall and making sure that you have enough foresight to see what else you have to put in there and not stop. You have to do it, clean it up, and then start again. But like you said, Chris and I were in that 2, 6, 12, and I remember distinctly having conversations with you and Roger about, when is this going to happen? We're getting worried. And like you said, it just mimicked everything.
Who else? What's been the most valuable to you out of this presentation here?
I think the first graph that you showed us with the high, low, low, high, and where to put everything, that just, for me, that's it. I'm visual, so I understand it from there, where I need to put more emphasis on and how I need to continue.
I love it. Anybody else?
For me, it's kind of getting more awareness around the Google keyword search and figuring out ways to integrate that, to the website, I guess, get more optimization there. And I'll probably be sending an email with some questions on that. So that should go to your service email, or who should I send that to?
Post your questions in the Facebook group. That's the best place to ask questions.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, we'll do.
Ask questions in there. If it's support needs, you need things done for you, or help, you need to get stuff onto your site, that kind of stuff, that goes to support. But if you got questions, leverage the Facebook group.
Meet is going to have 2 questions each time. So inside joke, but what stood out for me, and sorry, Hamida, were you complete?
I'm complete, yes.
Okay. What stood out for me, I think, is the reiteration of the evergreen marketing, and the fact that what we're implementing, like things that we're doing, although we're such a immediate gratification kind of society, the fact that having the understanding that Evergreen is going to take time and is compounding on the things that you're doing. So, you know, just trust the process. I mean, I feel like I've been hearing that all year, but trusting the process of understanding that you have to put these marbles, if you will, or these crumbs in place until it forms the big boulder or the big thing that you're going after.
Absolutely. So I got a question. How many of you guys want a process that this can happen in 5 hours or less a week? Most of you guys that are in our more advanced packages and working with us at a more advanced standpoint, you're good, right? We got you on that front. This is really designed. I'm going back to, remember I was selling. So I gave you the shit plan, in my opinion, 22 to 25 hours a week or a month. Now I want to show you how to get it done in 5 hours or less a week, right? Here's the REI Toolbox way. Launch a new authority hub, 5 to 8 days. We take care of that for you. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to go and build that or hire anybody else to do it. We'll got you, right? 5 to 8 days, that thing's up and running for you. Number 2, we automate your content posting 2 to 4 times a month, depending on your package. Number 3, take those content pieces that we've done all the research on. You know they're SEO friendly. You know they're highly searched SEO terms. This is where some of you guys need to get better at, because we don't do all of this part for you, because I can't be you on social media and videos and this type of stuff. Take those, and we're going to give you a process on how to repurpose those into social media and Google Business Profile posts. And I've done that training for a number of you guys on here already, right? But I can't make you do it. I can only teach you how to do it. But we've given you what we know has the search volume, because we're writing the content for you. Number 3 or 4, shoot a 3 to 5 minute video about that topic and blog, or that topic in the blog post, and post it to YouTube every week or every other week, however many pieces of content are coming out. 3 to 5 minutes. That's all it needs to be. Remember, it's a brick on top of a brick on top of a brick, right? Leverage your new authority content in your normal marketing. Drive all of the traffic to it. Now that you actually have it out there, Mara, you don't have to be afraid and make me say, go outside at 6 p.m. and face the west to you know it's there. Leverage it, drive people to it, right? Get people to it and let it do its job. And the key thing is we take the 2 biggest things off your plate. Now, for those that actually stayed on and hung in there, how many of you guys are in our actual foundational level package? I know Hamida, Jordan, Mickey, Segal, Phil. I forget where you're at actually. I know Lorraine, you got one brand with that, one brand up. For those of you guys that are in the foundational level, you've been hearing Roger and I talk about V2 ever since we came off trail. That during our trail hike, we spent 25 days putting this brainchild together of what we were calling V2. V2 officially launched this past weekend. Saturday was the first time we actually put it out there and put it towards it. And what we've come to realize is the foundation package was great, but there's one key component that was still missing from the basic foundation package. And that was this right here. The blog content. How many of you guys have been sitting in that foundation piece and not written a single blog the entire time you've been with us?
I got a couple in there. 3 in 2 years.
The 3 that we launched you with out of the gate?
No.
So what we've done, because these, at the end of the day, this is what Roger and I think about every single day of the week. How do we help you build more authority and trust, drive more targeted traffic, convert more leads, and close more deals? Now, blog content isn't enough, right? It's not the be all end all, which is why we've got the advanced SEO packages, why we've got the PPC. The more advanced we get, the better the results get, the faster they actually happen. But none of that matters without the foundation. And the true foundation is that entire hub that I just talked about. Content, pages, solid hub. Now we do other stuff to help get more traffic coming to it. That's the advanced SEO stuff. Right? So we went to the drawing board and said, okay, we're going to bring 3 total levels of foundations. The basic is still there. That's what many of you guys are in. The $97 a month. We've got you on the website aspect of things. We'll teach you all day long. You got to start, like, Hamida, you've been asking me for weeks, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? You need to be doing blog content. That's simple as that. Simple as that. You need to be getting blog content onto that site to start getting some legs under it and get it moving. But what Roger and I did was we went deep into the industry. And since we came off trail, we tasked our writing team to come up with an entire library of articles. They know how to do the go deep joke has been in the speaking industry for quite some time, Lorraine. But we tasked them to go really, really big and deep and write a boatload of content. Now, these are templated blog content, not custom written, meaning this is why I say those of you guys that are in our advanced SEO packages, you're getting better content because we're actually writing very customized to you. But when we looked at it, foundations, I want my foundation clients to start getting momentum. And Hamida, Jordan, Segal, I'm not picking on anybody that's in it, but if you're not going to do anything with it, you're never going to get the momentum that it really needs. Now, Jordan's done some other stuff to get his momentum. Segal, you've done some other stuff that's helped you get some momentum behind it, right? So when we got off trail, Roger's like, I want to come out with V2, where we can still get some content being posted. Plus package is 2 pieces of content a month. Premium package is 4 pieces of content a month. These are highly optimized, highly SEO focused, but they are, think of it like a true library, right? Where we're just going to pull down from our library articles that we know get traffic to it, but they're not necessarily going to be 100% avatar focused or niche focused in it, because that's more advanced level writing and advanced working. But at least it's bricks, right? It's brand building, it's brand components. It's at least getting some legs underneath your foundational package so that you can start to get momentum, so that you can get some deals done, so that you can be like Chris and Sal were. The second they had some deals flowing and they had some money, what did you guys do? You reinvested and it's starting to pay returns, right? We wanted to help you guys get there. So this is what we rolled out this past weekend. And for all of you guys on here that are already working with us, the site's already developed. So all you have to do is we just move you up into one of these 2 packages.
So we can't read what it says there. Are you able
Nope.
to?
I figured you wouldn't. So you ready? Here's where you're going to go. You're going to go outside tonight at 9 p.m. You're going to put your finger on your nose. You're going to stand on your head. And then you're just going to laugh at yourself because Shawn told you something really funny.
Oh, Lord.
And in the meantime, you're going to go to reitoolbox.com and click on the pricing page. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan. All right, fine.
For anybody that's already working with us that's in the foundation package, if you want to move up and let us start pushing some of these blog content, we already have about 1,200 articles ready to roll. I say that because even though it's library style content, we have so much already produced that it won't be repurposed on multiple sites. And the team every single month right now is continually adding to this library and adding to this library. So all it takes for those that are in these packages that want to, hey, let me at least get some blog content going so that I could use that to leverage on some of my other stuff. If you're working with us already, you just need to shoot an email to support and just tell them, hey, I want to either move up to the plus or the premium package. Okay. Anybody that isn't working with us, you just need to book a time on my calendar and jump on, because I got something special to help you with on the development fee to get you going. Because I'm going to extend the same thing that we did this past weekend through those that were part of this call. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna stay on for a second. I'm gonna do this.